It's Platt, and today we talk about Brett Favre. That's next to Platt's Beer of the Week. So the particular beer we have today comes to us from Lazy Magnolia Brewing. It is their Cream Stout. A little background into Lazy Magnolia. Lazy Magnolia was founded by Mark and Leslie Henderson in 2005. Leslie attended the American Brewers Guild Brewing School. That's where she got her start. She did a short little internship, and then in 2005, her and Mark opened Lazy Magnolia. Lazy Magnolia is Mississippi's oldest production brewery. Even though they've only been open for 15 years, they are the oldest production brewery in Mississippi, and they were the first one to open since the start of Prohibition in 1907. Now, I know some of you out there saying, oh, wait a minute, Prohibition started in 1920. That was federally. Several states had already kind of got ahead of the curve, especially a lot of the southern states in the Bible Belt, were already experiencing or already had prohibition at the state level, just not the federal level. So it had been almost 100 years since Mississippi had had a production brewery. Luckily for us, Mark and Leslie ventured ahead and opened Lazy Magnolia, but I found that part interesting. Lazy Magnolia is located in Kiln, Mississippi. Now, if that name sounds familiar, that's because it's the home of NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre, also known as Brett Favre. If you haven't seen the movie Something About Mary, a little play on words there. Lazy Magnolia got off to, unfortunately, a little bit of a rough start. They sold their first beers in March 2005. Well, if you remember, in September 2005, something called Hurricane Katrina hit Mississippi, and they had to shut down for a little bit. But luckily, they got back up and running by October that year and have been running ever since and continually expanding. They distribute most of their beers in the southern U.S. I do believe they make it all the way out to like New Mexico, and I think they're even up in New York, but generally south central U.S. This particular beer was given to me by a friend. I don't think they distribute out here to Nevada. But if you're in Middle America, keep an eye out for it. Real quick, let's review some of their other beers. Probably the beer they're most known for, and to me, I think they're most unique, is their Southern Pecan Nut Brown Ale. It is the first beer in the world to use whole roasted pecans. Actually, when they created this beer, they were a little worried about the oil that comes in nuts. A good example of this is a lot of these peanut butter beers. A lot of them will use a peanut butter powder instead of actual peanut butter just because of the oil. They happen to find out, though, that the yeast, or at least the yeast they use, kind of help break down the oil, so they didn't have problems with fermentation or carbonation. So, but sounds like a very unique beer. And if you're not from the South, trust me, pecans are huge down there, even if you call them pecans. Next is their Indian Summer Spiced Wheat Ale. It is wheat ale spiced with orange peels and coriander. Two classic spices when it comes to beer, so I'm sure that is a very stylistic to the wheat ale style. Next is their Southern Gold. Southern Gold is a golden honey ale or a honey ale that they source local honey, which is something a lot of brewers do, source local products. Also, the name Southern Gold is kind of comes after the local university, which is Southern Mississippi. They are known as the Golden Eagles, so Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, Southern Gold. And at one time, yes, Brett Favre was the quarterback at Southern Miss. That's where he went to college before he ended up getting drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in the NFL. So, again, kind of keeping with the Brett Favre local theme. And last but not least, they have a beer called Southern Gentleman. It is a bourbon barrel aged brown ale. Again, I like malty beers, and those malty beers do real good in a bourbon barrel. And I like bourbon barrels too, so I'm sure that is an absolutely delightful beer. Well, like I said, the particular beer we're going to try is their Cream Stout. But before we try this beer, though, let's check out the stats. We're all right. We still have a couple weeks to Christmas, so I got a couple more stocking stuffers I want to suggest. And this week is a little something different. This is not a beer-related book. This is a book that actually has kind of a deceptive name, but still a good book. It's called The Home Distiller's Handbook. Now, in this book, there's no actual distilling talk. This is actually what you would do with distilled spirits afterwards when you want to add flavor. This is really an infusion book. They have infusions, liqueurs, cordials, stuff like that. But basically, it's what you would do with raw spirits. So if you didn't distill, but you still had access to vodka or tequila or whatever, well, there's tons of great infusions. And if you do distill, then again, you could take your raw spirit and play around with it. There's some really cool recipes in here. One of them I think that's really cool is the horseradish vodka. If you are a Bloody Mary person, you definitely need to look into that. They've got a nice little recipe for a cucumber gin. Gin and cucumbers work wonderfully together. And one that you guys may see a video on, because I may have to try it myself, is a blueberry bourbon. That just sounds absolutely delightful. And I've had this book for a while. I don't know why I haven't done some infusion videos, but you may see some in the future. But check it out. It's called the Home Distiller's Handbook. It's a nice small size, literally perfect stocking stuffer. I will leave a link down below if you would like to get it. Well, enough about that. Let's drink some beer. All right, nice and black. Oh, gosh. That looks nice. Got a thin, medium to darkish khaki head. Plenty of bubbles on the side, so it looks like there's plenty of effervescence. Let's give her a nose. Just malty, dark malty goodness. Oh my gosh, that is nice. Oh, I can drink a gallon of that stuff. Woo! Just nice, creamy, dark, roasty, welcoming. Man, that it's body-wise just medium minus. You know, it has body. It's not watery, but it's a little softer body. It's something, boy, you could really drink. I could have multiple of these. We talked about in previous videos, or some stouts or the bigger beers. The flavor may be great, but they're only really, you can only really drink one. That I could have multiple of these and just keep trucking. It's man, it's just nice roasty, chocolatey. Because it's a cream stout, you get that sweetness. The mouthfeel is just right. Man, that is just a really good stout. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest stout in the world. It doesn't have, you know, any kind of unique flavors. It's just a well executed cream stout. I am definitely going to check out the rest of the Lazy Magnolia's product line, because that just goes down nice and easy. Just a great beer. I'm going to have to see if I got another one of those. Well, anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video, because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good product. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or beers that you would like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Until next time, bottoms up.